Hello, everybody. How y'all doing tonight? Pretty good? Getting set up a little bit. Fired up a couple minutes early. Let y'all trickle in a little bit, see what we got. It's a beautiful Saturday. It was almost warm for a minute today. And by almost warm, I mean like a hoodie was good enough. Just a hoodie was good enough. All this stuff. So much stuff. This is more stuff than we usually have. It's like we're doing something different. Who knows what's going on? Hold on, I gotta make the obligatory "we're live now" social media post, right? You gotta do that. You gotta let everybody know that now's the time, right? We'll get you all in there. That's the wrong button. New phone, who dis? Cool. We're here. We're doing it. Drinking my obligatory pre-drinking bang so I can stay awake. And be a rad, entertaining dude, maybe. Who knows? We're gonna make some mixed drinks tonight. We're gonna make 2 mixed drinks, but we're gonna do some playing around with them a little bit. We're gonna do, oh boy, we're gonna do a couple different whiskeys. We're gonna do a Manhattan and an Old Fashioned, and we're gonna do a couple different whiskeys for each one and see kind of how proof plays in, maybe higher proof, lower proof, how those work, and see which ones we like better. I got some general paraphernalia kind of all over the place to do this, hopefully in the most professional way I could possibly do, which won't be that professional. Mixed drinks, not my bag, but we'll see. If y'all want to pipe in the chat at any point with what you're drinking and why, let me know. Get the hell out of here. Stupid Windows, man. Sometimes Windows, stupid updates. Don't want to update right now. I'm on the internet. I am actively on the internet. Not browsing, but on the internet. Go away with your updates. Bullshit updates. So I figured we'd start by figuring out the whiskeys you want to use. I figured for the Manhattans, we would go for a couple of traditional flavors, and we would go with a real high proof one and a more reasonable proof one. I was thinking high proof rye. We'd use this full proof or barrel proof 1776. This shit is 58.7% and it's MGP. I think it's the 95% rye. I'm not really sure. Or a blend of them, actually, maybe. If I remember correctly now I think about it. So I think we would use that for the high proof rye for the Manhattan. And then I was thinking a couple ideas for the lower proof rye. Maybe we could do it like a direct comparison and use another, like, this is also MGP. I think it's the same blend as 1776, but this is down to 47 proof. So I was thinking maybe we do something like that. Or we could also potentially roll into something much different and go with like this Michter's or maybe a rye blend. I could go grab the Rendezvous, try something like that, something that's outside of that standard wheelhouse ideas. Then as far as the old fashioned goes, that's not tough. I mean, old fashions are good as long as you put good bourbon in them. They're good. I do like them quite a bit with Old Grandad. I was thinking I'd probably do Old Grandad Bonded. So we could probably use Old Grandad Bonded for one of them. We also have options like we could roll with Wild Turkey 101 or an Old Forester. I mean, I have a lot of good bourbons here. I prefer not to use like the 15-year-old bourbon. That seems kind of ridiculous, but I mean, we could even go down with something like Redemption, which is real low at 42. And then I was thinking about some higher proof options. I was thinking actually for the higher proof option, I would use the cask strength Litchfield that was on the last episode of Barrel House. This is a great whiskey. I think this would make a really good old fashioned. So I'm gonna use this as the higher proof. This is a local distillate. This isn't sourced or anything. This is all made here, about 20 minutes away. So that's kind of where my head's at to start with. I think I'm gonna start. I know I like old fashions. I have them a lot. So I think I'm going to start with the Manhattans, because I don't make many Manhattans, because I don't have a lot of love for them. Oh, I also have vermouth options. I bought 2 vermouths for the Manhattans. I figured we would start with the Martini and Rossi, because that's like traditional. I think we'll go from there. So we'll start. I think we're gonna start with let's start with this Rossville Union, and we're gonna make a Manhattan to start here. And you're gonna see how good I am at mixing drinks. Let's see how that goes, right? I'm sure it'll be great. Can't wait. So good. Also, since I'm not tasting, like for real, I'm not doing tasting notes. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and have my cigar while we're doing this, instead of after like usual, right? Because it doesn't matter, right? They're mixed drinks. You're dumping a bunch of shit in them anyways. Got myself a nice cheap stogie. This is a Baptiste by Oliva. We're just hanging out anyways, right? So what's it matter? All right, so foist things foist. A little drink mixing glass thing. Get some ice. I even managed to bring ice because I'm just that good. Do a big in. And we're going to crack this one up a little bit. Bar spoon. Sweet. All right. So, I mean, I'll put, if I remember to put these in the show notes, I will, but I learned all these recipes legitimately from the YouTube channel How to Drink. It's a great channel. If you haven't been there, you should check that out. Greg over there is super entertaining and very informative. He does a lot of really good shows. So, get your jigger. We're going to do 2 ounces of rye. And I was smart enough to bring a tray, so I'm going to be smart enough to use a tray so I don't have a bunch of spillage all over the bar. So I'm going to move this tray underneath me because I am an absolute mess. I am the biggest mess. I can't do anything without making a mess. So now the spill won't go everywhere when I make it because it undoubtedly will make the spill. All right, so 2 ounces of rye. Glug, glug, glug. Boom. I got a couple drops. A couple little dribbles. It's good for me, though. And then you're going to do 1 ounce of vermouth to go with it. That new mic picking up some decent Foley work while I'm doing this. Ting. And a couple dashes of bitters. Couple few. And we're gonna stir that bad boy up. Stir, stir, stir. The rule of thumb I've kind of seen on this is to stir it kind of until the side of the glass starts to feel cool. That seems to make sense to me. It makes more sense when you have decent circulation and you can really tell when it's feeling cool, but that will do. So then strainer, pour it into the glass. To the side with that. Of course, you gotta garnish the thing, because that's what you do when you're making drinks, right? You put garnishes on them. I don't know what the right way to garnish that is, but I just dropped it in, so that will count it. And here we have our first Manhattan of the night. Oh, by the way, I am not going to finish every one of these drinks you make tonight. That's definitely not going to happen, but it's good. The whiskey's almost completely lost. And that is mostly cherry and vermouth. You could definitely drink them faster than straight whiskey, though. For sure, you could plow through these faster than straight whiskey. I just don't know if that's my my jam. we'll try. Let's try higher proof. Higher proof is better, right? Everything is better with more proof, right? So let's do that. I'm gonna reuse the same ice in the stirring thing because why not? And we're gonna grab this. This is the higher proof one. We're gonna A/B this. Nice cork sound. More Foley work. It's like I'm a damn professional or something. Either that or I hot mic the whole set. We'll see. One or the other. If you have any feedback on the audio quality of my voice, new mic set up entirely. So figuring that out. If I'm too loud, too quiet, anything like that, let me know either in the chat now or in the comments for the video if you're watching this later, so that I can kind of make adjustments. Might take a few tweaks here and there before it's all the way up to snuff, if you know what I mean. Jelly bean. It sounds great to me where I'm at, but I'm not the important one in this equation, so that's all you. So we'll roll that, and then where'd I put that spoon? Oh, it's in the back here. Stir that up. Hold that away from the mic a little bit. Don't forget the strainer. We'll long pour that. See, in my head, right, when you're stirring a drink or shaking a drink, when you're doing either one of those things, you're basically you're adding ice cold water to the drink. So in my head, using the high proof will be better because it won't taste so watered down. This drink is good. This first one is good. But it tastes thin. I taste the vermouth more than I taste the whiskey. The question is, does the high proof whiskey seem way too dominant? A little cherry. Does it seem way too dominant? Does it drown out? Because, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot going from 47 to 60 or whatever, but that is a big difference proof-wise. It's definitely more whiskey. I definitely like it better with high proof. But, if you were the type of person who liked your mixed drinks more, you probably like the low proof. The low proof one does taste sweeter, and it is way easier. The high proof one still has some burn on it. You can still taste some heat on the high proof one. For sure. For sure, for sure. I was gonna bring a dump glass down, but I forgot, so I'll use one of these. I'm gonna do the same drinks, same two whiskeys, but with the other vermouth and see how those are. Just curious if there's a dramatic difference with the a lot of whiskey. We're throwing away a lot of whiskey tonight, folks. Oh well, that's fine. I'm gonna try it with the Noli Pratt instead of the Martini Rossi, just out of curiosity, just to see what we get, just to see what that difference makes, right? I'm gonna put another cube. I'm gonna throw another ice cube in the mixing thing. How's everybody doing? So we have quiet viewers this week. It's all right. As long as you don't leave. I don't care if you talk. I can continue to talk to myself forever. Been doing it for 34 years, right? Couple dashes of bitters. I think I'm actually just gonna go straight to the high proof. I already decided I like that better, so I think we can leave the low proof step out of this one. Save a couple ounces of whiskey for another day. Realize I chose to pour this scarily close to my keyboard, so let's not do that again for no reason at all. This smells different, drastically different than the Martini Rossi. Seems browner too. That looks browner to me. Let's clear this space up a little bit. Spoon, bar spoon. All that beautiful Foley work. Clangety clangy, all that ice. I'm actually gonna pop this out here. All right. Wah, wah, wah. All right. That feels good and cold. Let's pour that, throw a cherry in it. Strainer on it first. You can tell I don't do this too often. I make a lot of old fashions, but you build those in the cup, in the glass. That one smells better. I like that. I like the way that smells better. That's probably a preference thing though, because it smells kind of earthy. Earthy? It's much less sweet. I think the Noli Prat would be better with the low proof, and the Martini Rossi is better with the high proof. I think the low proof can balance better with the not as sweet Noli Prat, and the well, I don't know that it's not as sweet, but it's definitely more bitter. Still good. Yeah, I think the low proof would fit better with the more bitter Noli Prat. The high proof really offsets the sweeter Martini Rossi. I think that's the way I would go with it. I think I might actually enjoy this one a little bit, chit chat with y'all, and then we can get into the old fashions. I think the old fashions definitely gonna be tastier. It's growing on me. I don't know that I'd ever order one out. but it's growing on me. Yeah, like I think I like it more now than before, but I don't know that I would like enjoy drinking a whole one very often. Maybe I'm just not a sweet vermouth guy. I mean, I love me a good martini with like, I usually go a little bit dry. Like 3 ounce. I usually do gin also. I usually do like 3 ounces gin to like a half an ounce of like what is it? Carpano Bianca, Bianca, whatever it is. That's a good, like a lemon twist or an orange twist for garnish. That's a good drink. It's very easy, and it go down super good. I just don't think that this sweet. Maybe if I made that with like. All right, last experiment. I have one more experiment to do with this. While we're doing this, while we're figuring this out, gonna try a thing. Totally off the rails now. This is not a how to drink suggestion. So if it's terrible, don't blame him. Gonna do a couple dashes of orange bitters instead. I've seen a lot of people do this with chocolate bitters. I couldn't find any chocolate bitters, so I just have regular Angostura and orange. I use orange in my old fashions, so I'm gonna try it. I like usually like twice what a recipe calls for with orange bitters. I love that super kind of bitter, oily, orange oily flavor you got out of it. I'm gonna do the full 2 ounces of the high proof here. Hoping to only spill the minimum. Hey, that was pretty good. That was a lot less spillage than I usually have. And then I'm gonna do just like, I'm gonna go back to the Martini Rossi, and I'm gonna do like instead of a full ounce, I'm gonna do like 3/4. Right, I'm gonna go a little bit light. A little bit light. A little bit light. Just a touch. Just a hair light. A little bit less than you're supposed to. We'll stir that up. Get it nice and cool. Throw that strainer on because we know what we're doing. Because we're professionals. We're professionals in the barrel house. Noticeably less liquid. We're on a good start here. I think I may have just made made this enough of just a whiskey, a cold whiskey with a cherry in it, that I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Smells way more like whiskey. You can still, I mean, obviously you can still smell the vermouth. There's still quite a bit in there. I mean, honestly, I like that a lot more. So I think really the answer here is I'm just not a sweet vermouth guy. Because that's almost just whiskey. Like taste-wise. It's sweet. It's sweet whiskey. But the the flavor profile of the vermouth isn't really showing up, just the sweetness. All right, so gonna switch back to the bang for a few minutes. You know, seeing as I am powering through mixed drinks over here. I mean, I'm not drinking them all, but still, pacing yourself, an important part of any good night. I do my old fashions also off of how to drinks recipes. Like I said, Greg over there, killing it always. I prefer. I did forget a piece of what I need, so I will have to run upstairs quick before we do the old fashions. Because I'm just so good at playing this out. I thought I had everything too. I do prefer my old fashions with simple syrup instead of granulated sugar. I prefer a smooth texture. I prefer a smooth oral texture than granulated sugar. I don't like crunchy drinks. The answer is I don't like crunchy drinks. I also, so you can make them with really any kind of syrup. I mean, any kind of sugar. You can make them with sugar cubes and muddle them, or you can make them with simple syrup. You can make them with demerara sugar, demerara syrup, whatever. I like to make them with agave nectar syrup. I think that has a neat, tangy kind of sweetness to it that goes really well with orange. So that's kind of what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to have to run upstairs and get the syrup, though, because I forgot to bring it down. So I'm going to switch back over to the logo. And I'm going to throw that in chat real quick here, too. And I'm gonna throw the logo back up for a second. I will be back in 3.5 seconds. Time me. So we're gonna use the Litchfield for the high proof old fashioned. I'm really familiar with how the old granddad tastes in an old fashioned. I've done that a lot of times. Is my mic off? Is it off? Shouldn't be off. You should be able to hear me. I hope you can hear me, otherwise I don't know. Well, I'm just gonna keep talking. Oh. It was. Does that mean you can hear me now? Can you hear me now? I hope you can hear me now. I hope you can hear me now. Okay, perfect. So, I've had a lot of old fashions with the old granddad. I'm gonna skip that. So, the question is, what do we replace it with? Also, old granddad, not particularly low proof. That's 50%. So, I am half tempted. I'm curious. I'm gonna do it with Blanton's. I'm gonna say fuck it. I'm gonna make a Blanton's old fashioned and see if anybody gets pissed at me. So we're gonna use Blanton's and Litchfield. I'm gonna tell you right now, I know which one's gonna be better. I don't even need to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. Just not quite yet. We're gonna keep drinking this caffeine, smoking this cigar, and see where we get. So old fashioned, really, really easy, right? You're gonna see when we make it, obviously, but it's just 2 ounces of your whiskey and 2 bar spoons, which I think is probably like, this is a bar spoon. It's small teaspoon, right? Face for scale. So it's 2 ounces of whiskey, 2 bar spoons of simple syrup, or I'm gonna use agave syrup, and a couple dashes of bitter, garnished, stirred over ice, garnished with an orange peel, or whatever you want to garnish it with, I guess. I prefer orange peel. I don't like them with a bunch of fruit mashed in them. I don't want bits and pieces. I don't want to chew my drink. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a big fan of chewing my drink. And I do actually want to do a third old fashioned that I've never done before. Just gonna try it. We're gonna do a smoky old fashioned with scotch. I'm just curious what that comes out like. I think I might really love that, so we're gonna see. So, I guess we can start the first one here. Get your glass out. I'm gonna throw... I don't know if there's a proper order for the ice cube. Right? I usually throw it in first. I also only just barely know what I'm doing. In the most simplest of ways. So, ice cube in. Throw that ice cube in. Then we're gonna do, I do like 5 healthy dashes of orange bitters. Usually calls for 2, I think, but like I said, I'm a fool. So 5 dashes of the orange bitters. 2 ounces of your fancy, overpriced, handsome bottle whiskey. I don't think I'm coming back to that. I don't think I'm gonna make more than one with Blanton's. And then a couple of spoons here of this. Stir that up. Then you gotta do the, you know, I'm such a fool. I moved that tray out of the way for some reason because I just wanted to get the bar sticky, I guess. I don't know. No common sense. And I just threw the rag on the floor by accident. Then I just take I buy like the biggest, fattest, most ridiculously oversized orange I can get, always. So I can get a nice big drag of orange peel. Look, I brought a plate for this. Look at how fucking professional I am. I brought a plate downstairs. I just get a big drag of orange peel. Do the like, express it over the drink. If you got a good one, you'll see like a lot of orange zest. Then do some fancy shit. You know, rub the rim of the glass. You know, just do fancy shit. If you do fancy shit, you are fancy. That's the rule. And then there you go, you got an old fashioned. Throw that twisted thing in there. I'm not gonna lie. That's fucking delicious. That's very good. Maybe a little too heavy. I mean, Blanton's is such a mild whiskey. Maybe a little too heavy on the sweetener, the syrup. But it's very good. Very, very good. Old fashions are really good cigar drinks for me because they're to me, for me. For me, they're just really good cigar drinks. They're sweet. That balances out with the cigar is good, especially if you got like a strong, full-bodied cigar. And they're also still embody a lot of the flavors of whiskey because it's just cold with a little sweetener in it, mostly whiskey. So you still get a lot of that whiskey flavor. And those flavors do pair off with cigars pretty well most of the time. I think it's a good combo. Especially in the summer, man, when it's like super hot and you don't want to be just drinking a hot whiskey. Good old fashioned. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. I am really curious. I'm excited. I'm excited to get through all the way to the Ardbeg and do a smoky. I wonder if I didn't research this. I wonder if an old fashioned with a Scotch just has a different name. It's just like a different cocktail, just has like a fancy smoky Scotch name, like, or even a silly one. Like, I know I've heard that like everybody knows Jack and Coke, whatever, whiskey Coke. I've heard Ardbeg and Coke called a smoky cokey, which I think is funny. It's real dumb. That's real dumb. Should have grabbed that Murray Hill Club and done a $100 old fashioned. I'd regret that in the morning. I would regret that in the morning. That whiskey's way too good on its own to be putting in a mixed drink. I gotta make more. I can't just be finishing every drink I make. Or I'm not gonna make it. What am I doing? Put that drink away. I'm not gonna dump it though. I haven't actually made an old fashioned out of a barrel proof whiskey before. Now that I think about it, I'm not sure how good it'll be. It could be just a little too much. We'll find out. Anybody in the chat having a drink tonight? Regardless of whether or not it's whiskey, I don't care. My first love is whiskey, but alcohol is alcohol, you know? Hell, I don't care if you're drinking coffee. Get another ice cube out. Make this high proof. Do you, Jameson, always a good choice. Do you just have the regular Jameson, or have you played around with any like the cask mates or the black barrel or anything, or do you just rock the standard Jameson? What am I doing? I put an extra dash of bitters in. I'm feeling ritzy tonight. The standard you always see at Jameson gets kind of a bad rap, I think, because people think of it as like a party drink. And I think that's fair only in that I think a lot of people have bad experiences with it because they went a little hard on it when they were younger. I know I had my moments with the regular Jameson, but if you give it a chance to go back to it, it is really good. Yeah, that cold brew Jameson, not for me. I actually I like this one. The black barrel. Quite a bit. This is my preferred Jameson. It's basically just regular Jameson, but so what they do with Jameson is they age Jameson in, I believe it is in, I'm not 100% sure to be honest with you. I believe it is aged in ex-bourbon casks. Yeah. So they use bourbon barrels. That's what I thought. What they do with the black barrel is instead of just putting them in. So regular Jameson, they get the ex-bourbon cask and they just dump the Jameson distillate in and then age it. In the black barrel, they re-char them first, so they have more woody characteristic, and I think that goes a long way. I like the black barrel a lot. It's a more full-bodied kind of experience. And I think it's like roughly the same price, something like that. I don't know if you've tried the black barrel. I don't know how that fell for you, if you liked it more or not, or less, Or if you haven't had it, maybe you haven't had it. I don't know. I think, to my palate, my experience, I just like the slightly more, I don't want to say like evolved, I don't want to sound pretentious. It's a little more complex, I guess. I don't know. There's a little char. It's got a little more wood character. It's a little more uh, body to it. I like that quite a bit. The 18 year is fantastic, but it is also like not one that I'm willing to buy at that price on the regular. Bitters. All right. I got all caught up in talking about Jameson. Forgot where I was. Add you a little bit of sugar. Take a drag off of that orange peel. Again, I think the higher proof does better. I mean, I think I'm confirming, maybe it's confirmation bias, I don't know. I'm confirming in my head the idea that the standard lower proof whiskeys, especially the ones you usually get when you go to the bar, just disappear in these cocktails, and a little bit of proof goes a long way. Man, this occurred to me. This stream is like the ultimate uh example of good health. I'm like, there's like 6 glasses with mixed drinks in them down here, and I'm smoking a cigar and pounding an energy drink, just killing it. If this was my life every night, I don't think I would have made it to 30. Jeez. This is definitely better though. I mean, this could be a side effect of using a really, really good barrel-proof bourbon, because this straight doesn't have much burn on it, and it's crazy because it is like, where'd I put it? It's like 61%. And the fact that you can drink that as easily as you can is crazy. But I also think that like the caramelly the caramelly vanilla bourbony notes, a little bit of fruity notes that you get out of that whiskey go really, really great with a little bit of orange peel, a little sweetness, cold. Being barrel proof, a lot of that whiskey flavor still shows up over the ice. You know, a lot of these, you know, even that one with Blanton's is good, but same complaint. I bet you if I go back to it now that it's sat with the ice cube in it for a few minutes. It's water. It's sweet water. They just don't hold up. They just disappear. All right. We got one more. The smoky old fashioned. The smoky fashion. The Ardbeg. The Ardbeg. Ardbeg is the only whiskey I've ever had that tastes like it sounds. And that is awesome. It tastes awesome and it sounds awesome. You know what's funny is that, before we move on to the last one, the finish, I hear, here's a pondery thought for me. You hear whiskey people, cigar people even, rum, even like fancy rum and cognac people talk about the finish on the spirit or the finish on the cigar. I use it all the time. It is the way the flavor evolves in your mouth after you swallowed it, right? Nose, palate, now we're in the finish. But you hear cocktail people all the time call that the evolution of the drink. I don't know. I see where they're coming from with that. To me, the evolution, this is Bill Burr coming out, the evolution implies like the whole experience, start to finish. And that's not really how I hear cocktail people use it a lot. But I do understand what they mean. Because a good finish or a good cocktail will have an evolution, right? Like you will swallow it and you will have one flavor, and usually a lot of times in whiskey, good whiskeys especially, the flavors unwrap kind of like a piece of paper unfolding. You get more flavors slowly as it opens up, right? You get that with this, so I get the evolution idea, but also sounds more pretentious to me. It's got a really complex evolution. I don't know. I ended nitpicking. Either way, where I was going with that, this, even with ice and orange peel and sugar, agave syrup to be exact, the finish on this, remarkably close to the finish of that whiskey neat. I don't know if that's because that whiskey has a really long finish and the rest of the stuff falls off quicker, or if those flavor profiles just kind of line up close enough where I'm getting a very similar finish just out of the combination of them. But it's crazy. It's very close. All right, the smoky. Make way. Joe didn't bring enough glasses down to do all the things he's wanted to do. Joe can't count. Tonight's lesson, Joe can't count. I've had to dump more than once. All right. Ice cube. Ka-cha! Lightning McQueen. Ice cube. bitters. Uno momento. All right. Bitters is in. We're gonna do 2 ounces of this just beautiful, delicious liquid gold. This whiskey. This is, I've said it on the podcast, but this is the whiskey responsible for me becoming a big whiskey fanatic. This is the one. If I ever have a problem, you'll be able to blame this one. Dampen that cork while I got it in my hand. It's almost gone. I'm almost ready for another bottle. Man, I go through too much of that. Stir that bad boy up. I'll tell you, when you make it with scotch, the color significantly lighter, right? Jeez, that almost just looks like water. Tainted water. Tainted water, maybe. But get our drag of orange peel here. Yeah. Express the orange peel. If I'm feeling particularly fancy, and it does make a difference, a slight difference, but I did not want to do it for all of these drinks all night, I will express those over a flame and burn the orange peel as it goes in, because it gives it a kind of a singed characteristic I like quite a bit. So I'm super curious on this with the smoky bit here. Man, you can still, with all that orange and the agave, all that sweetness, all that orange peel squeezed in, the orange bitters, the ice cube watered down, it still smells like a campfire. It smells like an orangey campfire, but it still smells like a campfire. It's crazy. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yo, that's good. Good Lord. That is absolutely delicious. It's like you get a lot. You get a real lot of that sweet, orangey fruitiness, obviously from the orange and sugar into it. It's watered down a little bit, you'd expect, but you get all of that like earthy, peaty, umami meatiness out of the Ardbeg, a ton of smoke, and it's this like super complex balance, like this delicate balance. Man, this might be my new favorite old fashioned. This is so good. All right. I was gonna stop after this one, but I think what I'm gonna do man, I have a couple of real smoky whiskeys here, and I'm super tempted to go down a rabbit hole right now. Shout out to Greg for doing a quick audio quality check for me here and telling me how it sounds. I appreciate that immensely. All right. So I'm weighing the pros and cons of rabbit holing here down this. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do one more, and it's going to require me to walk slightly off camera to the other shelf. So give me 2 seconds. I'll dispose of that one. And I can only do one more because I don't have enough dump area for another one. So this is it. This is good. All right, so give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Sorry about the clanging and banging. To plug my headphones back in. All right, I'm gonna do one with Peat Monster. Peat Monster, you've all heard me talk about before. Compass Box. Compass Box, they're not a distillery, they are a independent bottler. I've not had one thing that they make that isn't good. Some things better than others, for sure. Any product line obviously going to have its winners and losers, but it's a damn good whiskey. If I remember correctly, this is a blend that they make, that they blend, of I think it's Lafroig and Kalila. I think. They don't come right out and tell you. I don't think they're allowed to. But you can kind of find the stuff online. But this is a damn good whiskey. So Ice Cube. One more time, Ice Cube. If any of you currently or later on the on-demand video, or the, what do they call it? The archive of this, if any of you have a preferred old-fashioned recipe or old-fashioned whiskey for an old-fashioned or whatever, let me know. I'm very curious as to how people like them. Same with Manhattans. If you have like if you looked at me and said, dude, you used the wrong whiskey, you used the wrong vermouth, yada yada, whatever it might be, let me know. I'm here to learn. I'm also here to continue to pick up that orange before I'm ready for it. This is already open. 2 ounces of Compass Box Peat Monster. Again, very light. Scotch is so light compared to bourbon. That climate, yo. I'm gonna actually go. Here's my on-the-fly adjustment. A little bit light. I'm gonna do like a spoon and half instead of 2. Spoon and 3/4 maybe instead of 2. Stir that up a little bit. Put it away. I'll tell you what. If you make old fashions or anything on the regular that you stir up, buying a good bar spoon. This isn't even a good one. Buying any bar spoon with the twist and everything. Huge difference. So much easier to stir a drink than with like a regular spoon or with your finger. Old school me, for sure, was a finger stirrer. Let's give this thing a rake. Now that I'm actually ready for it. Also, you should be peeling this over the drink. I haven't been. I know I should be. Just a fool. Give this thing a solid twist. Throw it in there. Swirly whirly. Now I'm curious because the Ardbeg is meatier. Compass Box a little more phenolic. It bears out exactly the same way. The Ardbeg makes a little bit more of a savory drink mixed. The Compass Box is a little bit sweeter, but also a little more... The peat is more present in the Peat Monster. The smoke a little less. The Ardbeg, a little less earthy, a little more meaty. I think... Okay. That requires thinking. Those do very... I think overall, the Ardbeg is a better drink in general. I think hot summer day, sitting on the deck, reading a book, stogie, getting a tan, sun's out, guns out. I think I would choose the Peat Monster. It's a little easier. A little easier to drink. Man, that's... I feel like the closest I have felt to right now in my entire whiskey experience was the first time I had Ardbeg, when I went from just taking it back, just shots of Jameson all the time, to sipping. I had the Ardbeg the first time and I was like, oh shit, whiskey can be so different and so varied. There's this big wide world out there, and it opened my eyes to it. This is the closest I have felt to that. These old fashions are a whole different ball game. I still think both of them would fall like second and third to my standard like Buffalo Trace or Eagle Rare old fashioned when it's like real hot out and I want to be outside. Those are both just such easy disappeary sippers. But overall though, like I'm way more likely to have one of these with a meal than one of the Buffalo Trace or Eagle Rare old fashions. I'm way more likely to have one of these watching a movie, hanging out. These are much better. The Buffalo Trace Eagle Rare ones, they're super easy. They're way more of like I don't want to think about it. I just want to have like the surrounding bubble of whiskey while I'm having this experience. Those are great for that. But if I want to enjoy a whiskey, enjoy an old fashioned, dig into an old fashioned and like have an experience, these are both really good. This Peat Monster one, dude, I wonder if the Ardbeg, I wonder if the difference in the amount of sweetener is playing a big role here or not. It's only like a half a bar spoon. Hey Echo, how's it going? Man, that's so good. That's so good. Shit. I feel like I am reborn. Smoky old fashions have reborn me. Alright, I have to do it. It's gonna pale. It's gonna pale in comparison, I know it is. Also, it's gonna be really hard to do. How am I gonna do this? I know what I'm gonna do. Alright, you're gonna have to, Absolutely reborn. This drink changed my life, Echo. It changed my life. I'm gonna do a real messy. You're all gonna you can't judge me. You can't judge me. You're here. This is my YouTube channel. This is my stream. These are my choices, my mistakes. You can't judge me on this one. I filled that mixing glass with dump because I didn't have a dump glass down here. So I'm going to make this Manhattan in the old-fashioned glass because I have no room to dump anything. And then I'm going to fish the ice cube out. So you're just going to have to deal with it. All right? All right? I just want to try a smoky Manhattan. I'm just curious how the smoky Manhattan holds up. Now I'm going to do it because I'm adding so much with the vermouth. I'm adding so much to water down the flavors. I think I'm gonna go to this Lafroig cask strength for the whiskey in this. I think it will hold up quite well to the Manhattanness of the vermouth and whatnot, and the cherry and everything. I think it'll hold up well. Better than... It's also higher proof. I think it'll hold it better than the other stuff. So we're going to do our couple of dashes of bitters there. We're going to do our 2 ounces of Lafroig. You guys would be disgusted if you saw how much whiskey I'm going to throw away tonight. It's disgusting. All in the name of content, right? I would never discard this much alcohol if I wasn't doing it for a video, right? Vermouth. Now here's the question. I am not gonna do multiples of this, and I have these 2 vermouths here with the Noli Prat, which was earthier, and the Martini Rossi, which was sweeter. I think there's plenty of earthy in that Lafroig already. I'm gonna go with the Martini Rossi. Stir, 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 stir. Get that nice and cold. Here's the judgy part. Here's the judgy McGee part here. Just gonna stir this until it's cold and then fish the ice cube out. That feels cold. No more ice cube. I should have brought... I have 4 of these glasses. I have 4 of these fancy-ass glasses down here. Or in the house. But I only brought 2 down because I was only planning on doing 2 Manhattans. But then I fucked everything up by getting exploratory. And now I have to... Oh man, that actually smells really good. Hold on, I gotta add the cherry. I gotta add the cherry. You can't go without the cherry, right? By the way, who doesn't fucking love a maraschino cherry, right? Right? These are extra good too. These like Sable and Rosenfeld ones. They're not quite as good as like the Woodford ones that are specifically meant for mixed drinks, but they are a little less sweet. And overly sugary. They're meant for cocktails. I'm gonna be honest, that smells way better than the rye ones. I'm also gonna be honest. I need a little wawa, a little agua. My palate, it's getting overwhelmed here. All right, that's better. I feel a little more, feel a little washed, My palate feels a little washed. I'm excited to see how this stacks up. It's not as good as the old fashioned. The smoky old fashioned, top 5 mixed drinks of all time. Top three smoky old fashioned, top 3 mixed drinks of all time, for sure. The Smoky Manhattan, infinitely more interesting, infinitely more complicated, infinitely more complex, infinitely more enjoyable than the Rye Manhattan. I feel like Manhattans, I feel like I should like them more than I do. I feel like I am like honor bound to find one I like. I should like them more than I do. I don't know what it is about them I don't love. There's some like it doesn't calculate to me, right? That's so much better than a regular Manhattan. Oh, so I do think I need to try. So like I said, the proportions to all these drinks came from the how to drink, how the number 2 drink, how to drink, or maybe actually it might be just be TO, how to drink on YouTube, and his Twitch might be how to the number 2, but how to drink. The proportions all came from him. He recommends chocolate bitters for the Manhattan, and I actually think if I can imagine a little bit of cocoa to this. Maybe I would like that more. I gotta track some down. I don't live in a place where it's the easiest to get fancy things like that, right? That said, though, it is really infinitely better. I wonder. I have questions. I wonder if I swapped out the vermouth I wonder if I swapped out the vermouth, if I could find a vermouth I liked better. Man, gotta stop letting that go out. I wonder if the cocoa bitters would make a big difference. I wonder if I stopped being hesitant to put really, really good rye in it, how I would feel. I have a couple of bottles of rye here that are $60, $80, $100. And I'm super hesitant to put whiskey that costs more than like $40 in a mixed drink. I say that. I put Blanton's in an old fashioned tonight. That was kind of just to piss anybody who finds this video off later, right? I hope somebody sees that and then goes fucking ape shit about it. Hot take, Blanton's super okay. I think Eagle Rare is better. This is a lot better than with the rye. I'm not gonna make. I mean, I have a. Careful now, Joseph. Look at how much I'm throwing away later. Right? I'm not making another one. I might sip on a couple of these though, just to not throw away quite so much. I do feel a little guilty throwing away quite this much. It's all for you. I am throwing away all this whiskey to provide good content, questionably, to provide decent content to you all. I combined the two smoky old fashions. Man, smoky old fashions. If you like an old fashioned and you like separately, independently, smoky scotch, make an old fashioned with the smokiest scotch you got. You're gonna love it. I promise you. This is so much better than a standard old fashioned. Cat! Oh, I haven't seen you in so long, Cat. How are you? I miss you, Cat. Frog, if I wish there was a way to like. Is there a way to like mark superstars I want to make you a favorite person. Cat. The only thing I can do is... Damn it. There's nothing I can do. Alright. For those of you who don't know, Kat is Vader's girl. Kat's been with us for roundtables, for all the podcasts, for these live streams, when I'm on Twitch playing video games, which I do from time to time. Kat's always there. I'm going to add you, Kat, as a moderator. You don't have to do anything. I just want you to have some kind of elevated status. Because you're always here. Because you're always doing the best. So you can now moderate things, and you're just special now. Vader's girl, you have achieved special status. Because it's the only thing you can do. You can't, like, star a user or anything. All you can do is make them a moderator. So now you're a moderator. Look at that. You show up bright blue on my chat. I don't know if it does for you or not. No, Kat, you're amazing. For real. Kat has been solidly one of the most supportive listeners, viewers to like everything, and also she's just cool as shit, so it's well deserved. Okay, you are special. You should feel special. I wish there was a way to like otherwise highlight a user besides making them have responsibilities, but there isn't because YouTube doesn't have options really, so that's all I could really do. Back in the day, back when this was before the podcast was a podcast and we were doing EGM Whiskey Club. Cat, man, what was that? Was it Bird Dog? Was that what you had? You had a Bird Dog like peach or something? What was the thing? Bird Dog. I'm sure it was Bird Dog. It was flavored like something. I don't remember what it was though. But you killed that bottle in like a night, like one meetup. Green apple. It was impressive. It wasn't that small. It wasn't like a 50 milliliter or anything. It was more than it was more than I would typically imbibe in in a night. Those were fun. I'm not gonna tip any hats, but there is EGM Whiskey Club. I tried to bring it back. I mentioned it a couple of times in the Discord, which you can find at igloomedia.com/Discord. And there wasn't a ton of interest in that specific kind of hangout. But Echo. Yeah, my bottle was smaller. I want to get back to that in a second. There's potentially something fairly similar coming. My bottle is smaller. Back to my bottle is smaller. Forever ago, Echo, I'm sure you remember when I was a larger gentleman. For those of you new here, Echo is my cousin. We took this health screening at work for our health insurance. And on they fill out this questionnaire, they do your blood work and all that stuff. My blood work always spot on. I'm a fucking genetic mystery. Even when I was like 4 bills and ridiculous, my blood work is perfect. And I remember having multiple healthcare officials be like, I don't understand. Your blood work is great. Also, you're too fat. Stop. But one of the things in the questionnaire was, how often do you drink? And at that point in my life, it was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 beers a night, whatever. And the report we got back was, hey, consider limiting yourself to 1 drink a day. And one of my coworkers bought me this like very standard beer mug, handle beer mug. Proportions were very standard, except for everything was just sized up. The handle was everything. If you took a picture of it, you wouldn't be able to tell because everything was to scale, but it held like 80 ounces. And one of my coworkers gave me this thing and was like, 1 drink a night, right? Just have 1 drink. It's just 1 drink. And it was like the size of a keg. That was not coincidentally, that was part of the like 4 or 5 things that stacked up all at once that did lead to me deciding to like cut back on a lot of that stuff. It was like that, and my favorite bar closed, went out of business. Like went out of business on my birthday, right? And my mom expressed concerns about my health. It all kind of added up all at once, and I was like, you know what? Maybe now's the time to cut back on the like every night thing. And it was a good choice. It was a good choice. Yeah, that was Margaritas. You're right. That was Margaritas closed. Margaritas last night was their last night open was my birthday, and so it was such a crazy coincidence where when it lined up. It was their last night. They had their big closing celebration on my birthday, and I went in, and the bartender Will was like just feeding me like nobody gave a shit, right? We were closing, so they're like feeding me free drinks, and it was all like the bottle of Coors Light that was at the bottom of the beer cooler that was like 4 years expired and shit. Didn't matter, I didn't care. And I got just destroyed. It was a rough night. And the next morning I woke up, I was getting ready, still living in my parents' house. I'm in that like little bathroom with no sink, my parents' house, looking in the mirror, and I just looked bloated. I was like purpley. It was a rough morning, and I was like, man, I don't know about this. I think I'm doing this wrong. I'm making mistakes. And then that day at work, or maybe it was like, might have been like Friday or Saturday night that they closed. I don't remember the details. And then but the next work day I had, they announced a Biggest Loser competition at work, and I was like, I feel like a lot of things are all pointing in the Joe, sort your shit out direction, and I sorted my shit out a little bit. Obviously, not entirely, because I'm standing in my basement surrounded by whiskey, so I'm not totally sorted out, but now I drink like twice a week, 3 times a week. I do really miss margaritas, but it's probably for the best. Me and my buddy Dave, man, we were down there 4 nights a week, 5 nights a week. Man, I'm telling you, if you don't make smoky old fashions, you are doing it wrong. That is so good. It's so good. My buddy Dave was neighbors with the owner of Margaritas, and we used to get comped food or drinks almost every time we went. A couple of drinks or a whole meal or whatever. It was a bad enabling behavior. Dan was the best. That's right, it was definitely Dan. I honestly haven't seen him in, I'll bet you it's been 10 years. For the little I interacted with him and the amount of time it's been, there's no chance he has any recollection of, I'm sure he remembers Dave, but without Dave nearby, I don't think he'd recognize me at all. I was also clean shaven at 400 pounds when I was going there. That doesn't surprise me. He had a like very spry look about him. I'm glad he's doing something though. I know he was relatively ill when he sold margaritas. Which, to be honest, I mean, it went through some places, but now that Dish is in there, I'm in there once a week now anyways, so. Have you been in there, Echo? Have you been in there since Dish took over? It's a little weird, right? With everything whitewashed like that. I love it. My 2 closest friends and I go once a week for dinner. We've gone to Dish, even at the old location. We've gone once a week for dinner, every week for 6, 7 years. It's great. Oh, that's right. I know you have. I saw you there. That's right. I've seen you there. I know that. I said that before you typed it, just in case you're wondering, because there's a delay. I remembered seeing you there before you said that there. I want to be clear on that. Did you ever go when it was that Bolivian place, Echo? Also, separately, Kat, what have you been up to? I haven't seen you in forever. Yeah. Dude, the Bolivian place was really good, but it was such a weird environment. It was such a weird environment. Also, I think my friends looked at you weird because, like, not that what you, not that kissing me on the forehead was weird. Always welcome to kiss me on the head. Whatever. Like you said, we're blood. I think it was like startling because we were so used to everybody keeping like 20 feet distance all the time because of the Rona. But shit. It is where it is. Are you sure? What are you having tonight, Echo? Anything good? Good choice. I do like a good G&T. They're like third or fourth on my list. Unless it, I will say, in the summer when it's super hot, G&T is all about it. I drink tonic straight all the time. My friends will give me shit like it's weird. Maybe it's weird. I don't know if any of you have tonic straight. I don't know. I love tonic. Like if it's like the middle of the day and it's super hot and I just want like a refreshing drink, I don't want to be drunk, if I'm doing something, I will totally have just a tonic with lemon in it. How did you burn your mouth with the Jameson? Was it like hot? Or something? I don't... Jameson's so easy. I take that with a grain of salt because I also prefer really high proof whiskey, so maybe I'm just a monster. Maybe my Irish blood's coming out in full force. I most Jameson's what? I believe this is the same proof as regular Jameson's 40, right? Yeah. 40 proof. Or 40%, 80 proof. A lot of the whiskey I drink like 46%, 61%, 63.6%. Someday, Echo, I'll have to have you over. To go through some of these whiskeys and see what you like. I have Oh God, I have to check. Let me open up my inventory. Listen, I just chugged a bang. I'm gonna be up for like at least 2 more hours. If you want to come drink whiskey right now, I won't stop you. I have 96 bottles of whiskey right now. We can find something you love, for sure. Oceans? Is it Jefferson Ocean? Jefferson Oceans? That's interesting. Jefferson Ocean, right? So the deal with Jefferson Ocean is I haven't had it because I'm curious, but not curious enough to buy it, I guess. So the deal with Jefferson Ocean is Jefferson. So I think Jefferson whiskey is like the regular bottle is good. I've had that. I've had that here before. It's good, not great, but good. I like it, but I don't love it. The Aged Ocean is the same whiskey, but they put the barrels in a cargo container that follows. There's actually multiple different voyages. If you look at the bottle, it'll say voyage number, whatever. What they do is they put the Jefferson whiskey in barrels. They put it on a cargo ship, and it ages on the ocean as these cargo ships travel around. Thought being, the motion of the ocean sloshes the whiskey around in the barrel. It gets a little more agitated, maybe ages a little faster. Also, the air is sea air, so it might pick up some of the salt water air. There's thoughts to it. What I've heard is an experienced whiskey drinker can taste the difference, but most people, if you A/B test Jefferson and Jefferson Aged Ocean, have a hard time finding the differences. And the Aged Ocean, I think it's like $15 a bottle more. I just haven't gotten to it. I would really like to try it at some point, though. I just haven't. I wish. The real thing is, most of when I used to try whiskeys, I used to go to a bar that had a lot of whiskeys and try them. Going to the bar has been not a thing for like a year now. For me, anyway. I haven't really been going to the bar. So, mostly because my friends don't want to go out drinking to the bar. They prefer to drink somewhere that they know is safe. We drink here kind of a lot, whatever. I mean, obviously, I got so much booze. It's one of those whiskeys that I don't want to dedicate buying a bottle to. Someday, though, for sure, I'll try it. How does Daniel like it? Does he think it's good? I'll tell you, the more whiskey I have, the more interesting becomes a draw for me. Draw is the right word. I don't necessarily always want the best or really good or anything like that. I want new, interesting experiences. Yeah, I was curious how much of the sea salt you pick up. That's the thing I'm curious about because I love, like, Lagavulin. All of these Isla Scotches, Lagavulin, Lefroy, Ardbeg is my favorite distillery. I have this whole row of Ardbeg. They're all very briny, sea salty. I love that briny characteristic in those whiskeys. I love that salty kind of experience that these coastal whiskeys, coastal scotches have. It's like my favorite. So I was curious as to how much of that salty brininess showed up in that aged ocean. I've heard conflicting reports, but it's definitely on my radar. Definitely. We definitely gotta make it happen. I have strong desire. My favorite thing, this is a slight tangent, but also very related to the conversation here. My favorite thing to do, no holds barred. One of my favorite things to do in general is have people over and just watch them experience all these whiskeys. I pour like tiny little tastes. I'm not looking to get anybody trashed, typically. So they can see the wide variety. And I just love watching people be like, wow, this bourbon tastes like apples and cinnamon. It tastes like an apple pie, and it's easy and light and all these things. And this Isla Scotch is like a campfire and raisins and this and that. And then this Irish whiskey is all shortbread. Like this, man, these two Irish whiskeys, Green Spot is a roughly, they're both no age statement. Green Spot, I believe, is 10 years old, and it is coconut cream and green apple. It is green apple in a way I have never tasted green apple and coconut in a whiskey before. It is so good. It's light, it's sweet, has all those characteristics of Irish whiskey. This was my favorite Irish whiskey. This was, up until this week, my favorite Irish whiskey. No holds barred. Then Mitchell & Sons, the Spot Whiskey Company, released Blue Spot. Now, Blue Spot used to be a thing, and then it went away, and then it came back, and now it's back again, and now supposedly it's going to be part of their core line permanently. And Blue Spot is 7 years. 7-year age statement. It even has the 7 on the bottle. 7-year age statement. It is cask strength Irish whiskey, and it is unbelievable. So I've only had that much of it so far. This is the first I ever had it. Only this much. I am going to let it open up, let it breathe, let it do its thing. It will probably be an episode in the next month or two. But holy fuck, this bottle of whiskey is so damn good. So damn good. I've only had 2 drinks out of it so far, but holy shit. It is so good. It's already better than Green Spot, and I think after it opens up a little bit, it's going to be impossible to beat. Kat, I think you would like Green Spot. It's still going to be a little bit of a step for you. Going from flavored whiskeys like the Green Apple Bird Dog, which has flavoring and sugars and stuff added to it, which if that's what you like, that's what you like. Go for it. It's going to be drier. It's not going to be as sweet. It's going to be harsher than a flavored whiskey, but I think you would still like it. Green Spot, still a close contender for my favorite Irish, is like $55 a bottle. Blue Spot, my absolute favorite Irish by far so far. A little more than twice that a bottle. Hard, even though it is definitely better, tough to justify. A little tough to justify. With Green Spot as good as it is, it's hard to say, yo, spend twice as much for Blue Spot. That said, though, if Blue Spot's a regular thing that stays around for forever, I'm going to keep it in the bar. It's going to be here forever. I'm just not going to drink it all the time. In fact, instead of drinking... fuck it. No, I already poured all these drinks. It's a lot of whiskey. I should stick to this. I'm gonna be honest, Echo. I have no idea what that last message meant. You lost me. I don't know if that's a voice to text or I just don't follow. What Japanese whiskey did you have? You told me about this once before, right, Kat? I get so many messages about what people like for whiskey. It's hard to keep everybody straight. Oh, that's right. Yes. This one, man, I'll tell you. I think you could convert any non-whiskey drinker to a whiskey drinker with this as their gateway. If it was like $20 a bottle cheaper, it would be so easy to recommend to people. I think it's well worth the $70-ish a bottle that this costs. 63, I think. But at $60 a bottle, trying to convince someone who doesn't drink whiskey regularly to buy it is tough. But you do get this fucking awesome bottle. Look at that bottle. That is a cool ass bottle. Yes, Lauren, that is the one you liked quite a bit. That's the one you rated the highest. That is just like smooth and easy. It's like apricots and berries, honey. There's a little bit. Oh. You tell me, Echo, you tell me when. You can try that whenever you want. You just tell me when. The Hibiki Harmony, though, that Japanese whiskey, it's like the most beginner-friendly whiskey I've ever had. But it's not the one I recommend the most to beginners because it's just too expensive for a beginner. The one I recommend most to beginners is this Monkey Shoulder, which is how do I want to describe it as compared to Hibiki? It's nowhere near as smooth, right? Hold on. It is good though. I mean, it's flat. It's simple. This is a great one. If someone wants to understand what malt tastes like, this scotch is a great example of what malted barley tastes like. But it's also very simple, it's very smooth, has a very approachable flavor profile, and it's, instead of being 70 a bottle like Hibiki, it's 30 a bottle. It's much easier. And I will say, I have converted a number of people, my buddy Josh, a couple of my other friends, my buddy Greg tried it. I converted multiple people to like the whiskey world slowly getting their foot in the door with Monkey Shoulder. I think all of them would have dove in head first with Hibiki, but telling someone to go buy a $70 bottle to try, it's tough. I don't know, I'm gonna move the camera for those of you who get motion sick. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna show off the entire whiskey collection here in case you haven't seen the breadth of it here. So prepare yourselves. All right, so we have the whiskey behind me that you've been looking at the whole time. Then we have the bottles over there. We've got like some Redemption, some Balcones, Balvenie. Great. Nika Coffee Grain is a big Japanese whiskey. And we go over here, we have all that. And we have the shelves over there as well. On the shelf to the top right, it's mostly Old Forester. 2 bottles of Joseph Magnus. Both of those are fucking amazing. And then on the top right shelf, all the way to the left, that's Calumet Farms 14. That is so good. And then, whatever, there's stuff over there. Oh, shit. That's a bad angle. Hold on. That's about where we were. Yeah, it looks alright. The cheapest bottle I have, I'm gonna give you like the spectrum. Cheapest bottle I have is this old Tom Horan that I bought for the 7 Whiskeys Under $20 live stream a couple weeks ago. Totally fine, by the way. It's not good, but it's drinkable. It's fine. And gonna caveat the most expensive bottle with the most valuable bottle, because it's not the most expensive bottle. The most valuable bottle I have is the Johnny Walker Black Label Blade Runner 2049 edition. That is a $40-ish bottle of whiskey retail, but it sells for $600 to $900 on the secondary market. It's not good whiskey though. It's Black Label. It's just Johnny Walker Black Label in a fancy ass bottle. So it's not open either. I'm never gonna open that. Fuck that. The whiskey inside that bottle, not worth opening. Even with that ice melting as far as it has, this old fashioned with the smoky scotch, this is half Ardbeg, half Peat Monster, but damn, it's good. Oh, let's see how long. 218. All right, well, I think, seeing as I have this very large mess to clean up, I'm going to call it for the night. I will be back in 2 weeks. We'll say probably Friday, the calendar app open. Friday the 20th, most likely. I don't think it'll be Saturday next time. It'll be Friday. I'll be back. I hope to see all of you there again. It was a great time. I had a lot of fun. Check out the podcast at barrelhousepodcast.com. You can check out the live streams. Obviously, you found them the first time, but those are always going to be available at barrelhouse.live. My film podcast is available at eargluemedia.com/TFA. The Discord is at eargluemedia.com/Discord. You can find all the other shows on the network that are awesome, like Cantina Cast, the Basement, Petticoats and Poppies, all those on eargluemedia.com. And I hope to see you all soon. Echo, let me know when you want to come try all these whiskeys. We'll figure it out. But that'll do it for tonight. I had a great time. I will see you all later. Take care.